Hello, I'm Chelsea with Park City Television, and you are watching the Mountain Weekend Show. I am so looking forward to this show because we are at such a spectacular house on an amazing piece of property, and I'm joined by my friend Matt Schultz. He is with U.S. Luxury Group. Matt, how are you this bright sunny day?
I'm awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, great. Well, thank you for giving us a tour today. First off, where are we at? This is a very prestigious neighborhood.
It is. We're at the very top of Olympus Cove in Salt Lake City. So this house is at 3809 Thousand Oaks Circle. So we're as far east as you can go, above 39th South, overlooking the entire valley.
That's right. Huge views of the valley. You have Mount Olympus right here and some other great properties as well as neighbors. I mean, it's such a wonderful place to have a home, to have neighbors, and of course to even add on, which we're going to talk about a little bit later on in the show. What are some of your favorite features?
Well, this is such a cool house. I mean, it was originally built back in the 70s, and one of the prior owners had this grand vision to create this estate, and it's, as you can see, it's sandstone slate with a copper roof. Sits on 3/4 of an acre of land with unobstructed views. It's 15,500 square feet, 3 kitchens. I mean, it's an amazing house. I mean, there are some rooms unlike anything I've ever seen at a property before in my life. And we're fortunate enough to be partnered with Joe Johnson and Dan Alphin, and we're actually going to sell this home through an absolute auction. So on December 21st, this house is going to sell to the highest bidder no matter what.
Very exciting, and we're going to give you a little taste of what you can expect if this ends up being your home. And I wanted to mention too, it's called the Overlook Retreat, which is very fitting for the name. Like we said, amazing views on both ends. Pretty much the entire west side is glass, right?
That's correct.
You can just see anywhere out there. It's pretty great.
Absolutely unobstructed from any room, even the basement.
Very cool. Also, we'll be giving you a tour of certain areas of the home, talking more about the history, going into what U.S. Luxury Group does, what you guys focus on, and how you can help any of our viewers out there. So what do you say we go inside and take a look?
Let's check it out.
All right, let's go see it. Thank you. You're back on the Mountain Weekend Show here on Park City Television. I am joined by Matt Schultz and Dean Ward, principals with U.S. Luxury Group. How are you guys today?
Terrific, thanks.
Doing well. I'm so happy to be here with you guys. First off, tell us a little bit about what is U.S. Luxury Group and what do you guys really focus on?
Well, Chelsea, thanks for having us on. What we do at U.S. Luxury Group is we partner up with agents and sellers. And we basically go out and do an accelerated marketing program on their home and find and identify qualified buyers that can come in and purchase that home and pay cash. And we bring those buyers to the table. And because of our process, we do all of this within a 30-day window. And then at the end of our process, we have an auction, an absolute auction on the property, where we fill a room full of these qualified buyers and sell the property.
Tell me a bit about your marketing process. You guys really make an effort to spotlight these homes that you are working with.
Yeah, we do. We do an accelerated marketing plan that includes television, it includes radio, it includes newsprint, all kinds of print. You know, we identify in the markets what is going to be the best vehicle to identify those buyers, and that's how we do our marketing, or all of the above. And it's a marketing that we do not only locally, but regionally and also nationally. So we're bringing in buyers, qualified buyers, that can purchase the homes that we represent from all over the country, sometimes all over the world.
And how are you? Oh yeah, go on.
Oh, if I might add, when we're putting our program together, we actually do an extensive background interview on the seller of the home. And the reason that we do that is we create a marketing campaign tailored to find kind of the clone of that homeowner, if you will, somebody that has similar interests and similar likes, because it just makes sense. If it works for one, it might work for another. So once we've put all that information together, we tailor our marketing, both the message and also the medium, to target the people that have those similar interests. So we bring people in that, you know, maybe it would appeal to. The last home we did was in South Jordan, and it had a 30-car garage. So we did a lot of marketing targeted for the do-it-yourself guy. We've worked with properties that are on Walker Lane in Salt Lake City, so that's more tailored to a more affluent community. So the home really dictates the context as well as the medium that we utilize for our advertising.
And you mentioned the process is about 30 days. I mean, you guys save a considerable amount for your buyers and even sellers, people out there looking for that new home that they want to purchase, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're in a home here today in Olympus Cove. And you know, Thanksgiving is in 2 days, and we'll have this home sold before Christmas. we put together a program, and over the course of 3 weekends, we hold open houses every Saturday and Sunday. They're open to the public. And then that final weekend, it culminates in a final evening preview. And then the Saturday after that, which in this instance will be the 21st of December, we'll hold an absolute auction, and this house will sell.
Very good. And Dean, share with me what makes you guys, U.S. Luxury Group, so different from traditional real estate. We've touched on those items generally, but really, what are some of those things that people may not realize you guys do?
Well, you know, Chelsea, traditional real estate obviously works, and it's a great way to sell your home. But when you get into these higher end luxury properties, there's only so much money and so many buyers in an area that can afford a property like this. So the benefit that we bring to the table for not only the seller but the agent as well, because the agents still make their full commission. You know, we're truly a tool for them, is just the simple fact that we can move the property and we can get those buyers to come forth, because a lot of cases the buyers just didn't know about it, especially on a national or a regional level. And so we're able to bring them to the table and move the property. And again, it's all within a 30-day window. And so, you know, in high-end luxury real estate, typically, you know, a home can sit on the market for years without being sold, and the poor sellers have to reduce and reduce and reduce until they find that sweet spot or that buyer. And we're able to come in and like I said, accelerate that and do it within 30 days.
And along with that, let's talk about value now. For those out there who really are like, okay, show me the real difference. What am I looking at here? And what is the value that U.S. Luxury can offer me?
Well, you know, as far as value, you know, yes, we sell the home as an absolute auction, which means it is going to be sold to the highest bidder, irregardless of what that price is. So yeah, there possibly is a deal to be had on this home. But the fact of the matter is, you know, value, cost to carry for a seller on a luxury property could be tens of thousands of dollars per month. And so, yeah, we create the value because they get to move on with their life. They get to go with their next chapter and close the chapter that they're in.
You simplify the process for them. You take over all the work and make it very easy for them.
Absolutely. It's exactly what we do.
Awesome. Matt, anything else to add?
Yeah, one thing to be really clear, we don't work in distressed properties. These homes that we work with, they're simply, as Dean put it, they're sellers that are looking to move on to the next phase of their life. And so what we do through this process, unlike traditional real estate, is we create urgency and we also create competition. And that's the best result for everyone. The auction process ensures that the buyer of the home is going to get a good value because the market speaks. The seller of the home is going to get all of the available money for their property because there's competition. Through the marketing, we drive the people to the property that would be most interested in buying it, and we create that competition in an event that's really quite fun.
Very good. Where can we find you guys online, or how can we get a hold of you?
Our website is usluxurygroup.com, and there are contact information on there. And if you have a property, or if you're an agent representing a property, or if you're interested in looking at one of our properties, feel free to contact us through any one of the links on our site.
Very good. Well, Dean, Matt, thank you so much. I learned a lot, and we'll be right back here with more on the Mountain Weekend Show. Welcome back to Park City Television's Mountain Weekend Show. I am joined once again by Matt Schultz. And Matt, this house has an interesting history, one that buyers should be aware of to kind of have an idea of the possibilities that they have in moving forward into the purchase of such a place. So first off, tell us a little bit about the background.
Well, the home was built 30 years ago, and we're located here at 3809 Thousand Oaks Circle. So we're at the very top of Olympus Cove. I mean, Mount Olympus is literally out the front door. And the home was built, it was obviously much smaller than its current formation. And the prior owner had some grand vision for the house, as you probably can imagine when you pull up here. I mean, it's covered in sandstone slate and a copper roof, and it's
incredible.
Extremely modern. I mean, the entire west side of the house is glass. And it wasn't completed. So that owner ended up selling the property for whatever reason. And the current owner, Joe Johnson, and his partner, Dan Alphin, bought the home at auction a year and a half ago. And they own a construction and development company. And their idea was to come in and finish this. I mean, they picture it what it is, and that is a blank canvas, basically. And their business turned as much of the real estate market did a year and a half ago, and it started to improve. And they've got a lot of other developments and projects they're working on. So this one kind of fell to last on the list. So the house has been sitting here in its current state. And so when people come, they'll see that it's basically an incomplete construction site. It has been completed, but when the prior owner left, a lot of the things that were utilized to finish the house were taken. So Joe and his partner Dan have agreed to put together a proposal for whatever the successful bidder is to finish it according to their taste, their color palette, their structure of the home, how they would see fit, and to give them a real competitive value for that service.
Very good. And let's talk about the layout of the home. First off, what space of land are we on here?
Just about 3/4 of an acre, and so the value.
So that's pretty substantial for this area, for this type of neighborhood.
It really is. I mean, you don't see a lot bigger footprint than that in this area. So the lot itself is just under 3/4 of an acre, and the home is comprised of 15,500 square feet. So there's a lot of room to work with here.
It does leave a lot of room for you. Let's go over bedrooms, bathrooms. What have we got here? I mean, first off, 9 bathrooms.
There are 9 bathrooms, and the prior owner, as we were discussing off camera, had some unique styles. There are a lot of rounded corners and recessed areas, and there are in fact no interior doors on this house. So that applies to bathrooms as well.
Which is kind of interesting. 9 fireplaces, of course, living in Utah, something you would certainly want in nearly every room of the home, which they almost have here, right?
Absolutely.
And then kitchens, there's, I think, pretty much one on the most of the main levels.
That's correct.
Or the major levels, rather.
And the cabinetry that was put in there, it's very unique. I mean, there are some
It's different
green
in every
cabinets.
kitchen area.
That's
There's a red
exactly
one,
right.
green, yes.
And when we were talking with countertop people and cabinetry people, the comment that's been consistent is you can't purchase higher quality than what's here. Wow. It's just an extremely unique color scheme and for someone with unique taste.
Absolutely, and also the 5 bedrooms. Last of all, there's a lot of possibility here and definitely a lot of space to make it happen. You can only imagine. Let's talk about the auction and the open houses.
Great, thank you. So beginning this Saturday, every Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m., the house will be open to the public. And so you're welcome to come by and check it out. There are decks on every level, so you get to take in the views. There's an outdoor kitchen, so kind of get a feel for what it would actually be like to live here. That all culminates on Friday, the 20th of December. We'll have a final open house preview. On Saturday, that next morning, December 21st, is when it stops being open to the public, and that's when it becomes the auction process. The reason we do that is to protect the people that come. It's a substantial purchase. We've had celebrities and politicians and other people that have participated in some of the other sales that we've had. So for their privacy, the way that a person can be admitted to the home on that Saturday morning is they come prepared to buy the home. And the way that process works is they bring a cashier's check made payable to themselves for $50,000, and the successful bidder will then offer that check to the title company that will be on site, and pay the balance of 10% that day, and then the closing is 30 days, and because of the process that we do, it is a non-contingent close.
I see. So to first kind of enter ourselves into the process of being even a viable candidate to purchase the home, you do have to fill out some forms online, right?
It's really pretty basic. The house is a $1 million home, plus or minus, and the market will dictate the value, and that's what's cool about our system. So, somebody knows whether or not they're qualified to buy $1 million home. Because it's a 30-day close, if someone is serious about it, they would begin that process prior to the auction. And what's cool about what we do is, this isn't like a courthouse thing. It's not something that's in distress. There's no bank requiring this sale to take place. So if a buyer sees the advertising for the home and recognizes, this is a Southern California home nestled in the Utah mountains and I'm interested in buying it, they can certainly approach and make an offer. That would give them a sufficient amount of time to prepare their finances to get everything in order to close. If it comes down to the day of the auction, they come with that cashier's check and they sign that over to the title company on site and basically commit under contract to buy the house within 30 days.
All right, and you, like we kind of alluded to, pre-bids, you can do that as well.
Absolutely, at any point, starting right now. So if somebody's interested and they don't want to risk the house going up, bidding the price up, they could certainly make an offer. And we've seen that before. Some of the other processes, homes that we've been involved with, there were people that were basically waiting out the seller, hoping that they would reduce, because in traditional high-end real estate, that's ultimately what happens is they list and reduce and list and reduce, and the agents fall away and new agents come on, because it is a very select market for people that are qualified to buy a home like that. And so in this particular process, I mean, if somebody was serious, they could make an offer, because as I started to mention, we had a house that there was a buyer that was waiting out the process, and ultimately once he saw that hundreds of people are going through an open house and there are other pre-auction offers starting to be made, it prompted him to say, okay, enough's enough, I'll take the house.
Wow. Yeah, it certainly gets people thinking and moving forward in terms of making that decision and helping the seller, of course, but also getting the buyer into that new property that they want to own. I want to mention real quick, we were talking about possibilities with this home. As part of those open houses, you guys will have renderings of sorts to kind of give us an idea of what that potential is, speaking of the possibility of a garage.
Correct. The house, I mean, it's 15,500 square feet on 3/4 of an acre, but it doesn't have a garage. And that's because when they did this new construction, they wanted to utilize the footprint of the home that was previously the garage to capture those views. And as you'll see in later footage, it's an unobstructed view of the entire valley. And so they built the house, the residential area where the former garage was. There's plenty of room to the north. They've had an architectural rendering done showing where it would sit, what it would look like. It can actually be a 2-level garage. So there are a ton of possibilities, and it really is a unique opportunity for somebody that wants to have their own touch on the property.
Very good. Well, thank you so much, Matt, and we'll be right back here with more on Park City Television's Mountain Weekend Show. You are back on Park City Television's Mountain Weekend Show, and I am joined by the homeowner here, Joe Johnson. Joe, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
I am doing very well. Thanks for letting us be here in this home. And tell us first off, why did you decide to use a U.S. Luxury Group or work with them?
Well, we purchased this home at another auction, at the Courthouse Steps auction, quite some time ago, and we have been marketing it and have not sold it quite yet. And so I was contacted by Dean and Matt, and they talked to me a little bit about what they do and how they're able to advertise to a little bit broader market and really bring everybody in and focus on one property at one time with a lot of attention. And so this home, we felt like needed that, and so we liked their style and their approach and felt like it was a good time to do it.
Very good. And they certainly seem to be a team that know what they're working with. They know the demographic. They know how to assist a seller like you in getting a great matchup with a buyer, right?
Sure. I mean, we advertise through the MLS and Realtor.com and some other places, but this property is unique enough and exciting enough that it needs to get out to a broader demographic, and we liked what they had to offer and their team, so
very good.
Well, seemed like a good fit.
Excellent. Well, let's talk a little bit about the area that you're in. This is quite the view if you haven't seen it yet, but it's spectacular up here. Quite a prestigious neighborhood.
Yes, Olympus Cove. Anybody that knows Utah knows Olympus Cove is a great little spot. You're nestled here, right up here next to Olympus Cove. The mountains out the front, and then you've got panoramic views.
Amazing.
All the way out to Great Salt Lake, and you can see the window practically.
And that's not just in this room. Pretty much any area
throughout this whole
in
house.
The home, you can see that. It's spectacular.
Yeah.
Well, let's discuss some of the possibilities. I mean, there's obviously a lot that can be added to this home. You have a great place to start off from, though, in terms of what you want to put here. Give us an idea of some of those possibilities.
This home, what makes it unique is it was started. I mean, it was like a painting that was never finished. The previous homeowner had a great idea and concept, just didn't execute it. And so that's why we bought it at auction. We felt like it would be a good opportunity for the right person, whether it be an investor or a homeowner or a vacationer that spends a few months out of the year here but wants a retreat up here in Olympus Cove with these views. These are unprecedented. These are what sell the property, and so for the right person, it's going to be a great property.
Very cool. Anything else to add about the area, the home?
You know what? The home has unlimited possibilities. You're close to ski resorts. You can see downtown.
That's right. Big deal for many people out there.
You're just a great central location. You can walk out your front door and go hiking up Mount Olympus.
That's right.
And then enjoy, a drink in the morning and watch the sunrise and sunset. So for that type of client, it's going to be a wonderful home.
It's going to be a great fit for that special person out there, and I know a lot of people would certainly be interested in these views. These are so spectacular. We're going to be sharing some of those with you more throughout the show. So thank you very much, Joe Johnson, the homeowner here, and we'll be right back with more on the Mountain Weekend Show. You're back on Park City Television's Mountain Weekend Show, and I am joined by Doug Bowers. He is a contractor that has been consulted on the development of this home in this area that we are in. How are you, Doug?
Good, thank you.
Very well. Well, thanks for taking some time to speak with us. We have some important questions that I think you could assist our viewers in getting answers to. So first off, what has been, I guess, your experience in working with this home and the potential that you see for it?
Well, because of my background in high-end properties, I was asked to come in as a consultant and a contractor relating to what the possibilities I thought were relating to the completion of this home, because that's basically what it is a home that isn't yet finished, but has great possibilities. As to why they came to me, probably because of what I've been involved in the past. For example, I was the developer and builder for Hotel Park City, right on the golf course.
We know a thing or
I
two
got all
about
those
them.
entitlements, and so I've had an eye for good properties.
Very good. And speaking of those who you think would be a good fit for this area, kind of describe, I guess, your experience. And, you know, this house is so large and it has so many unique and different features. What are your thoughts on who you think would enjoy having this space?
Well, I think this is the perfect home for the family or individual that wants to indulge themselves. Like
Which we all do from time to time,
like
right?
the rich and famous.
Exactly.
On probably the most beautiful view for the Salt Lake Valley. I mean, it is gorgeous, and the window walls have been put in a way that exemplifies that. I mean, from anywhere in this home, you look out and it's just a beautiful view.
Absolutely.
Lovely neighborhood.
It certainly is. You really have to see it in person to really take advantage of these views.
Yeah.
Sometimes TV doesn't do it quite justice. So once again, speaking of the open houses and such, you need to come over and check it out. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the development of the home and the property. How much are we looking at in terms of if one, say you chose to invest in this and further advance the home, develop it even more, what are we looking at?
Well, I was asked to write 2 in-depth reports, which I did, targeting two separate markets, because the home is so versatile. I mean, it could come in at one level and another level depending on what you spend. And my first report, for $650,000, that's a comfortable figure I came up with for finishing the improvements to market the home in the area of $3.5 million. And then the second report was targeting that $4.5 to $5 million range and above. And in a strong market, I would imagine that spending, which I came up with, $1.2 million to $1.5 million, you'd have a home that in a great market, you'd be above $6 million.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
incredible.
it is.
So, and when you, I guess, line that up with the investment, it's certainly worth that.
But if it's indulgence, you spend it and enjoy it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, very good. Anything else to add about the home or the property?
No, it's just a great property. It's a great property.
All right, Doug. Well, thank you so much
You're
for your
very
time.
welcome.
We appreciate it. We'll be right back with more right here on the Mountain Weekend Show. You're back on Park City Television's Mountain Weekend Show, and if you didn't catch what we were talking about before, we are in a spectacular home, one that we are so excited to share with you guys. We're finally going through a little tour of the home to share with you some of the nooks and crannies and some of the spectacular features that are here. Matt, I can't even tell you how much I enjoy these big floor-to-ceiling windows that we can see all throughout this entry level, and that's where we're at right now, is the entry level. There's some pretty great rooms that we have here just on this first floor. Let's go through those.
Correct. So as you enter in the front door, you walk into a little formal reception living area, and there's a floor-to-ceiling fireplace. As you walk through there, this would be the first room you encounter, and it's the great room. It's great.
It really is. And my first thought with a lot of it is, of course, there's very many possibilities that you can put in this room, and especially with entertaining. Like, this is the first room people see when they come into your home if you end up owning it. And so you want to make quite an impression with that first room. And this certainly delivers that.
Well, you know, it's, as Doug talked about before, it's a blank canvas. I mean, it's incomplete. And what's unique is the foundational aspects of the house. I mean, you walk in and this entire floor is polished granite.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Every room on this level. And then you've got the wall windows, so floor to ceiling, both sides. And as we look out here, we're literally looking at Mount Olympus, and then we have unobstructed views of the valley. And right in the middle of the room, you've got sandstone tile pillars. So it's got so many different finishes. Yeah, to the ceiling of glass. So it's got so many unique touches and so many unique characteristics that anyone with kind of a vision of what they'd like to create, this is a great piece to start from.
I really think so. And one thing I really, really love about it, I mentioned the windows, but natural lighting, that is a big part of this home and certainly adds to the perfect ambiance that you get from that.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, we have the fact that we have 4 distinct seasons here. You know, on a summer morning, this is the perfect room to sit and relax, and you got unobstructed views of the sun coming over Mount Olympus. And on a winter evening, you can sit and watch the sunset over the Great Salt Lake, and it's just, it's
or the
phenomenal.
storms moving
Sure.
in. It's always great from the benches.
As we were kind of planning what we were going to talk about, you look over the valley, and we actually are at an elevation right now that as the planes are approaching the international airport, they're below us.
No kidding.
So it's
I
to give you
never
a
thought of
perspective,
that.
it's pretty cool.
Oh, it really is. You have some wonderful views here. We mentioned, of course, there's the kitchen. There's the very large main bedroom that we have over there that has a lot of potential. I mean, the size of that thing is quite big.
Yeah, the master bedroom is actually the entire north end of this floor, and it was the most recent construction project, so it's also the least finished. I mean, it's framed in for all intents and purposes. So it gives the potential buyer a lot of opportunity. They can choose how they'd like it finished, and if they'd like to move something around, it's still in such a state that could be done without a lot of effort. You also have the kitchen, and the kitchen's got a massive granite island, and then there's a dining room off the kitchen that has an entire ceiling of light.
That's
and
right.
all of those open to that huge kitchen, outdoor kitchen and patio area that have the unobstructed views. And then we also have this great room and then the laundry room on this main level as well.
That's right. I'm thinking as you're in the kitchen, I mean, just when you think that, you know, you've seen the best part of this main area, it opens up to this great deck, and you can see those views even just a little bit closer without that glass separating you from the beautiful sky just out west and into the valley. And then there's also that outdoor kitchen as well, which is pretty great for those summer barbecues, right?
It is, it's cool. And you know, everything on the house, the outdoor theme is all consistent. It's all that sandstone tile, and with the copper roof, it's fantastic. And you know, the unique aspect of this, as Doug mentioned, he bid a completion project on this house at about $600,000 to finish it to a very high quality level. And a $600,000 investment in this property in his professional assessment, and as he said, I mean, he developed Hotel Park City, and he's done a lot of very fine projects, but that puts this home at a market value of in excess of $3.5 million. So with this auction process, the market is certainly going to speak, and you know, we believe that we can reach a sales price somewhere around $1 million. And so what it does, from my perspective, is that creates a really compelling investment opportunity, or an opportunity to buy a house and have great equity.
Oh, absolutely. Pretty exciting. I think the possibility really gets those ambitious people out there who want to redo or add some great features to an already spectacular home like this. This would be such a great buy for them, I think.
Absolutely. So the kitchen's right over here, and then it opens up to that patio. Can I show it to you? Want
Yeah,
to go check it out?
let's go check that out. We'll show you that with you right after this quick commercial break. Let's go on over. Welcome back to the Mountain Weekend Show. Matt and I have now found ourselves into this lovely kitchen here on the entry-level floor. Matt, give us a rundown of what's in here. This is a pretty spectacular space in and of itself.
It is. There's plenty of room. It's got double ovens. It's got double dishwashers. It's got a space for a double refrigerator.
That's right.
There are 3 stainless steel sinks, and hidden behind the glass partition wall is a 3-story dumbwaiter.
And describe for us what this is. It's pretty great.
Well, it's not necessarily a rude food server. It's actually a small elevator, so you can prepare the meal here or whatever the dish is, and you put it in the dumbwaiter and then select the floor, and
It's like a food elevator.
It
It
is, it's a
delivers it
food
to where it
elevator.
needs to go. So they can give you a call up here to the kitchen
Hey,
to
we
whoever's lucky enough to be cooking, and they can deliver it to whomever's having a fun time below, right?
Absolutely. I imagine if I lived here, my kids would use it for a toy, but
Oh, that's awesome. Very cool. So we have this area, and of course there's tons of storage space here. We have this island right here with one of the sinks, and then of course you have doors and such everywhere all around where you can store things, and of course add in more food, right? There's always more space for that in this kitchen. Well, what do you say we walk out to the deck, because it extends all the way over to the master bedroom, and there's a really great view out there along with another kitchen. So let's walk on out. What
Let's
do
do
you say?
it.
So we have these great doors that go open right onto the deck, and then you have this spectacular view. Can you believe that? Can you imagine having that? That's so beautiful.
you know what's cool is that as long as you own this property, it's never going to be obstructed. I mean,
That's
short
right.
of trees and anything natural, it's always going to be unobstructed like that. So with the
really
windows
is.
that you have on the home that provide this view from inside, and then this part outside that allows you another entertaining area. I mean, this
Exactly.
is a great home.
Can you
for
imagine this
entertaining.
during the summer?
How cool
I
would
mean,
it be?
any time of year, but
Absolutely.
summer for
I
me.
mean, there's on this deck on the north end, right off the master bathroom, there's a hot tub.
That's right.
So I mean,
Love
what
it.
a great opportunity to hang out and sit over there and watch the sunset. We've got an outdoor kitchen with a really high-end barbecue grill that's hooked up to natural gas rather than propane. So it's always there. You never have to do the run to the store to get a new propane tank to barbecue. So it's a very cool setting. It's set up great for entertaining, and that's what I love about this open floor. There's nothing that restricts one room for another. So for parties, can you imagine for Thanksgiving coming up in a couple of
That'd
days?
be so much fun.
You could have 50 of your closest friends over here and never bump
I
into
think you could
anybody.
have even more than that. There's plenty of space for it. And that's what I was thinking as well, too, Matt, with this large deck area. I mean, you could have a whole private party out here. You have the hot tub, jacuzzi, and then you have this dining area as well, the kitchen set up for you, and then, of course, the great view. And I wanted to mention, too, I mean, you can see, like, from South Mountain, you have the whole Wasatch Range coming up over here. We have Mount Olympus behind us, and there's the city down there. And you say on very clear days, you can actually see the planes going in and landing,
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
at night, right?
Indeed.
Very good. All right, well, we're going to go to a commercial break, and when we get back, we'll have more of the tour of this spectacular home. That's coming up in just a minute. Hey, welcome back to the Mountain Weekend Show. We are continuing our tour of what is known as the Overlook Retreat, a spectacular residence right here in Salt Lake City with beautiful views that we're going to share with you more of, but we've gone down to the lower level. Previously, before the commercial break, we were upstairs on the entry level. Now we've gone down one, and there's so much more than I even ever expected. Let's list all the great features of this level.
Well, we're kind of exploring this and finding it out as we go along. There are 3 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms on this level. There's a kitchen behind us
Which happens to be what color?
The green kitchen. It's got some very eclectic
It
taste,
does,
but it's
it
cool.
does.
It's all very high quality stuff.
I
It's
love
just
it.
unique. There's a massive home theater.
It is. It is bigger than ones that I've typically seen. You
It
can
really
definitely
is.
fit a much larger, a pretty decent sized screen in there, along with some big comfy chairs, a lot of great bean bags and stuff. I think that'd be a great place for things like that.
I agree. I mean, this was definitely set up to be an entertaining home. The room that we're in here has a drop-down screen on the wall, and it's got a space for a drop-down projector in the ceiling.
Nice.
So you've got more bathrooms, more bedrooms, another kitchen, and then right around the wall behind that kitchen is an opening for the dumbwaiter that starts in the kitchen
There it is.
upstairs. So
right.
you
To
can bring
deliver
food
right to your home theater.
to your other kitchen,
There you go.
to your home theater room, to whatever you want. And just like the upper levels, as you'll notice, there are unobstructed views. So, I mean, we're in one of the lower levels. There are unobstructed views of the valley. And again, there is a sandstone deck outside that runs the entire side of the house.
And one thing I wanted to mention too is that the room a little north of us, that actually has an opening, 2 doors that go out onto the deck, which is just great. It's always nice to have a window in your room. Of course, when you have an opening to a huge deck like this, that's definitely an upgrade, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's like another master suite. It's a complete master suite with a grand tub and then a walk out onto that deck. with the unobstructed views, and it's basically got that whole corner of this level on its own.
And there's also really great closet space. Of course, me being a girl, I noticed these things. So I was like, oh, that's awesome. I like that space in there. And of course, storage space as well. And we can't forget another fireplace, I just remembered, right?
Yes. I
To
mean, how
keep
many
you
did we
warm on
say?
those chilly nights. There's a couple
Yeah.
around the house.
I think there's 6 or 7 fireplaces, so there's,
Yeah, it's pretty
there's no
impressive.
shortage of that. And then on the next level, when we go downstairs, there is a vault built
Ooh.
into the foundation of the home. And outside of the vault, there is a glass room, and the walls run floor to ceiling, and it's probably 20 foot square. And to be honest with you, I have no idea what the function of that room is, but it's right next to another kitchen and bar area. So as we walked through with Joe, the homeowner, he said he didn't know if maybe it was a cigar lounge or what the prior owner had in mind, but it's an extremely unique feature. It's very cool when you got to see. So make sure that if you got some free time this weekend or any of the next couple of weekends, we'll be here Saturdays and Sundays from 1 to 4, and the open house is, like we said, it's open to the public. So come check it out. It's really a unique opportunity to see a house that you might otherwise not have the opportunity to check out.
And once again, I love that you guys are doing so many open houses, because this is one of those places where you really have to see in person. You need to walk through it yourself. I mean, pictures don't always quite do things justice, although those are still pretty impressive for such a place as this. But it's great. You need to check out the views, look at the various rooms, and the intricacy of the detail. Like we mentioned, the green kitchen, a very unique feature, as well as the materials that were used for this home.
Yeah, and it's not just inside. I mean, it's outside.
That's right.
When I first came to meet with Joe at this home, he told me that I take Jupiter Drive and go east. So I'm headed east by the Dans down there. And as I'm driving up here, I had my GPS plugged in with the address. And as I look up, I see this massive sandstone home with this beautiful copper roof. And I thought, wow, is it possible? Because Joe's telling me it's around the $1 million range. And I'm aware that the house across the street was $6 million. So I'm thinking, I can't imagine that that's the house that's that inexpensive. And I know $1 million
Well,
isn't
absolutely.
necessarily
Many would agree
inexpensive,
with you.
But for the neighborhood, it's a terrific buy. And so when you get up here and you see it from the outside, the exterior is as unique as the interior. I mean, this literally, I don't know about you, but when I first came to this home, it's like somebody plucked it from Dana Point and plopped it down right here.
You're like, does this even work for here? And it does. It's such
really
a
does.
unique feature to add to this beautiful neighborhood. Once again, a very sought after neighborhood to be a part of. And also, you can't say enough of the great views. We're going to go to a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to see more of what you were talking about at the
Yeah, we'll
lower
go
level,
down
right?
one more level.
Okay, let's do it. We'll see you back here in a few. Welcome back to the Mountain Weekend Show. We are just about wrapping things up, and Matt and I just got done with our tour of the lowest level of the house. And oh my goodness, I mean, you thought you'd seen everything already, but the lowest level actually has a very different feel to it, right?
So we toured the bird's eye maple kitchen on the top level. And then we got to see the green kitchen on the second level. And on the lower level, we have the red kitchen. So the red kitchen is in the ultimate man cave. It's floor to ceiling slate tiles. There are 2 more bathrooms attached directly to that room, and then the glass room that we talked about. And
That's right. A great place for entertaining.
oh my gosh, fantastic place for entertaining. And yet the cool thing is, again, like the rest of the house, it's not complete, so you can change it to anything you want. So we've had discussions about this glass room, whether, what it might be. We've
Pretty
had,
much anything you want it to be, but this is your conclusion was,
well,
maybe?
we talked about a cigar room or a poker room, but I think what we've come down to is probably a wine cellar.
I think that works.
And the cool thing is it's got a full-size vault built right into the foundation on the back wall of it. There's an additional bathroom just off that wine cellar / whatever room it might be. And there's a bathroom on the other end, and then we've got another movie theater and another kind of entertaining area. So this house could be anything that your heart desires.
I love it. Like we said, fireplaces even throughout the lower level, and I like how on all the other levels you have the white, the granite, but then you have the slate tiles from floor to ceiling, which kind of adds a different feel to that part of the home. So I love it. It's perfect.
Very cool, very rustic, very mountain on that floor.
Absolutely. All right, well, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we get back, we'll be wrapping things up. Hey, I'm Chelsea. Welcome back to Park City Television's Mountain Weekend show. I am joined by Evan Tweed and Matt Schultz with U.S. Luxury Group. You guys, thank you so much for the tour of this spectacular home. It is so beautiful, and I'm so excited for whomever gets to end up buying this home. So first off, what were your favorite features of it? Evan, you first.
I like the Hall of Mirrors.
Oh, yeah? That's a pretty good one. I like it. I mean, the view is pretty hard to beat, but that's kind of a given.
To be honest, I mean, this house is perched at the very tippy top of Olympus Cove. There's nothing behind it but mountain.
That's right.
And this is what you see when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, it is an endless sunset, beautiful views. This is the ultimate party pad.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, if you're not a celebrity when you buy this house,
You will be.
10 seconds later you will be. This is a masterwork of towering glass and imported marble and all of these fixtures. Somebody put a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of dreams into this thing, which is kind of a sad tale, but it ends happy because this is Michelangelo's David with just a little more chisel work required to turn it into just a world-class home. I mean, this is Entertainment Central.
Well said. I like your whole concept of it. So, Matt, you've been taking us through the house. What has been your favorite part so far?
You know, I think just as it unfolds, figuring out what his vision may have been as he was building the home. I mean, the idea of putting a deck here, a balcony here, a bar here, a kitchen here, it's such a unique piece. It's not like any other home you're going to see. And I think that's why U.S. Luxury Group plays such a key role in homes like this, because not to diminish traditional real estate, but anybody can sell a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in a community. This requires a very, very unique buyer, and it's a very unique home. And for me, to have the opportunity to stand here and literally walk outside and have a postcard for your back door, that's what it's all about. I mean, a home like this really is that you've arrived, and now you can create, you can finish it to your own personal taste, but it's such an amazing foundation.
I love that, like a postcard backyard view. Very perfect. Well, speaking of U.S. Luxury Group and what you guys do, tell me about the marketing magic that goes into this. You guys put in a lot of hard work into getting these homes sold to the right person.
To the right person, that's exactly right. What we do is I get a profile of the person who built this thing originally. This made sense, perfect sense to somebody. Now I'm going to go out and find a clone for that person. What we do is an accelerated marketing program where we take basically a year's worth of listing and pack it into 3 weeks, and we will find that buyer by accentuating the positives that would be meaningful to a person like that. And this house has got so many positives. There is a person who, when they walk in this is something out of a magazine. And when it's lit, when there's music and clinking glasses and that sunset in the background, everybody's dressed up. You know, anybody that walks into this house will never forget when they walk out of this house.
Oh, that's right. I'm going to have a hard time driving away. This place, like I said, the views are beautiful, and it's a perfect entertainment area to share with your family, with your friends, or new friends that will be coming to those entertainment events. Let's talk about the auction, the open houses. As a reminder, when are those happening, Matt?
So beginning this Saturday, every Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m., the house is open to the public. So you just come on over. One of us will be here to greet you and answer any questions you may have. We'll have some literature about the property, and you can take your time. And the last couple of times we've done open houses, there have been people that have come back 2 and 3 times and brought their builders and their construction guy, bring their kids. They hang out. They just kind of get a feel for what it's like to live here. And that's one of the things that Evan really creates when we do our marketing, and that is not just the experience of buying a house, but the experience of living in a home. And that's hopefully what we can convey through these open houses. So every Saturday and every Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. Then on Saturday, the 21st of December, is the day we'll sell the house. So Friday, the 20th, the day before, will be the final preview, and that'll be in the evening. You'll see over the next few weeks a lot of media about this house. As Evan talked about, we do a massive marketing blitz, so there'll be a lot of production here. Real Estate Essentials, one of the programs we do on ABC4 and also Park City TV. A lot of print media, a lot of internet-based stuff. We want people to have an opportunity to see it because this is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. Because come 11 o'clock a.m. on Saturday, December 21st, there is a new owner for this house, no questions asked.
So tell me exactly where this house is located.
It's 3809 Thousand Oaks Circle. So it's basically as far east as you can go on 39th South. There's a map on our website, and also on all of our print media you'll see. It's pretty simple to find. If you go east from the Dans, you follow Jupiter Drive up and you just keep winding to the top, you'll see it. You can't miss it as you start east.
Very good. So last word from you, Evan, in terms of the value that people get out of working with you, with working with you as a luxury group, and I guess the confidence they can have in working with you and walking away either with a home sold or a home bought. Describe that experience, if you could, in a couple words.
I take a home, which is a box with glass and fixtures, and I give it personality. I give it a story, because that's what people want. They want the story. Cher's house isn't Cher's house until she sells it. When Brad Pitt buys it, when he sells it, it's Brad Pitt's home. That's a story. There's a story about this thing. We're calling it Overlook Retreat. And this is a place where there will be a buyer who will imagine him or herself staring out this glass, holding a glass of whatever and thinking, I made it. It doesn't get any better than this.
And maybe taking a dip in the jacuzzi over there. That's what I'm thinking about right now. So all those things add together. Where can we find more information about you guys?
You can find it on our website, which is www.usluxurygroup.com.
I know you guys are always very able and willing to assist anyone that has questions, whether or not, and that's what's important to mention here, is that don't automatically conclude that you aren't a viable buyer or seller. Talk to you guys first, right?
This is an absolute auction. Whoever shows up with the highest bid is going to get it. And with very little extra money, this thing could become income property. I mean, it's a gold mine. It just needs to have the dirt rubbed off it.
All right, Evan. Well, where can we get in touch with you guys personally? You mentioned the website, also an email and a number.
We've got a phone number, 855-733-5898.
Good. And then we can also email you as well.
info@usluxurygroup.com.
Very good. Well, you guys, thank you so much. I don't know
much.
how I'm going to get this place out of my mind. It's spectacular, right, Matt?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for spending the day here with us today, Chelsea.
Well, thanks for the tour, gentlemen, and good luck with the auction. You guys be sure to come out to the Overlook Retreat. Like I said before, you have to see it in person to truly appreciate it. It is just spectacular. And thank you so much for joining us here on Park City Television's Mountain Weekend Show. We'll catch you next time.